And action.
Welcome to the Positive Sports Podcast. I'll be your host this evening, Ed Montana. Alongside me today, Dr. Strange, Mr. Feelgood. No, it's Dr. Feelgood. I don't know. Whatever. It's my brother Alex. Alex, how you doing today?
That sounded like a barn fire.
A barn fire? A dumpster fire, you dummy.
Oh, same shit. It's all fire, flames.
Flames is flames. I'm kind of bummed out, bro.
Why?
So, I got a call not long before this podcast.
Yeah?
And it was my son's baseball coach.
Okay.
And he says to me, my son's grandfather is taking him to the Skeeters game tomorrow. Skeeters, minor league baseball, down in Sugar Land.
Right.
And he asked me if my son wanted to go.
Sweet.
And so I asked my son, and my son goes, hell yeah. So I said, all right. And, we worked it out, who's going to pick up who and what time and all that. And then I hung up the phone.
What's so disappointing? I mean, he's going to go see a baseball game. How fucking great is that?
I didn't get invited.
Aww.
I mean, Grandpa can pick me up.
That would be a little awkward.
I mean...
You want a tissue? Do we have a Kleenex in here?
I mean, I could be picked up and go.
You should have called him back and told him, hey, I'm also available tomorrow. Did you forget to invite me? I work at such and such. Pick me up. I'll be ready to go.
That wouldn't be too embarrassing, would it? I think you forgot to invite me. Is my invitation forthcoming? Can I expect a phone call? Should I take a change of clothes with me to work tomorrow? What should I do? What time are you going to pick me up for the Skeeters?
Coach would have said, no, don't worry about it. It's just your son.
Yeah. You just go ahead and wait for that phone call.
Hey.
Right around the 4th of never.
It's your son we want, not you.
Yeah. It's kind of like when he was a baby. Remember when your kids were babies and everyone wanted to come visit you, only no one wanted to visit you?
Yep.
They just wanted to see the kid?
That's still the case. I mean, if we're talking about mom and dad here, I mean, that's still the case.
I'll tell you what, mom and dad never, well, I shouldn't say never, that's a bit of an exaggeration. Mom rarely texts me to ask me how I'm doing. But she sure will ask me, how'd Eric's tournament go?
Well,
how's the family doing?
You have two strikes against you. Number one, you have a kid, so she's going to check up on her grandson or granddaughter.
Right.
And number two, you're the oldest son, so you don't get sympathy at all.
Yeah, no.
So you're screwed.
Does she check up on you?
Oh, yeah, all the time. I mean, I could pull up text right now, and I mean, it'll be like, oh, my dear son, how you doing? It's ridiculous. I'm like, come on, Mom. I'm 30-something years old. Don't be talking to me like that. I mean, I would show you, but, I can't do it in front, in the middle of the show here. But, I mean, yeah, tons of texts where mom is just, praising me.
You know what's funny is, like, you always say that you want to treat your kids all the same, but you can't. I mean, they're different. They're different, right? Like, I've got 2 daughters and a son. I can't treat all 3 of them the same. I can't smack my daughters around like I can smack my son.
You can if no one's looking.
Not to mention, my son does more stupid shit than my daughters do.
Yeah, sons always do that.
That's the way it goes. And the other thing, too, is like even between my daughters are different. Like I had one, well, I still have one. I have 2, actually. I have one that's very conservative, very, she's not crazy. She's not a wild child or anything like that. And then I've got another one that wants to wear a handkerchief for a miniskirt on 6-inch heels. I mean, I was like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah,
I don't understand it.
Yeah, I need a ref by my side and throw that flag and be like, that ain't happening. I'll tell you what, being a parent is harder than my day job. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard because you have to know how to balance
everything.
And you have to be careful how you act around them. You have to be careful how you say things, especially nowadays, right? Like us growing up when Dad took out the wooden bat or the leash.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
It didn't matter.
It was A-okay.
Yeah.
So now you have to be really careful. But I mean, just overall, it's just hard raising a kid, man. And actually, not only is it hard, it's scary. It's really scary. To me, it is because, you know, you try to prepare them for you know, the real world.
Right.
But sometimes you don't know. They may detour, take the other road for a little bit. They'll get back on track, but then it'll, you know, it takes scary.
Time.
It's scary.
It is, and as much as I've always said this. I think it's really one of the more ungratifying jobs. I think our light just went out.
I mean, now I'm back to looking like normal.
You should probably flip the hat around so we can see your face.
Yeah, I think so, because now I feel like I look like a raccoon. Let me see.
Yeah.
There we go.
There you go.
That's not better either.
Who cares? Lighting problems aside, the hard thing is that you have so much control, right? You have so much control over everything, but at the end of the day, you have no control, right? Because once they leave,
they're gonna say "F you." I'm gonna do it the way.
Right. And it's funny, like you know, my oldest daughter, she says a lot of things the way I say them. You know, her views are similar and whatnot, but then she's got some ideas, and I'm like, who the hell taught you that? You didn't learn that in this house. But, you know, that's just the way it is. It's very difficult. It's a very difficult job. It is the most difficult job, I think. And I don't think there's a good way to prepare for it. You know, like, you go to college, and like, I'm an accountant, right? I went to college. I took a bunch of business classes. I took a lot of accounting classes. I got certified. I take continuing education every year to make sure my accounting skills are top notch. They don't do that for parents.
No.
For parents, it's like, oh shit, she's pregnant? I mean, they barely teach you how to make one, let alone raise one.
Oh, God. Just thinking about that is scary right there.
Well, yeah, because you got a teenage son. Well, shit, so do I, right?
Well, I got a daughter. I got daughters, too. Which one is, as a dad, which one
is more stressful?
It's got to be both. They got equally. I think on a different level. They're
different kinds of stress,
right? But it's got to be the same. I know most guys would say, "Oh, my son, you know, I'll dap him up, give him a pat on his." I don't know if I would, man. I don't know if I would.
Oh, for that specifically?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I thought you were talking about which is more difficult raising them in general, but you're talking about like sex.
Well, no, even. Yes, no. Okay, I mean sex, okay? Yeah. And we're not giving you a sex ed class here, okay?
Oh, no, you're not getting sex ed here.
Yeah, that's...
I don't know.
But, you know, yes. I mean, like, sexual and, yes, raising, you know, male or female.
Yeah, it's...
I think both are, you know, I think it's just equally the same.
It's freaking hard all the way around.
Right?
I don't think it's any easier... I don't know. They're both equally hard. Because you're right, you know, like most guys are like, yeah, I'll pat my son on the back, but, you know, like, you don't want your son getting...
Not if he's like 21 years old, no.
Right, like, no, but the thing is, like, you know, you don't want him to get accused of rape, right? Yeah. I mean, there's that problem. You don't want him to be disrespectful towards women in general, but even so, like, a 15, 16, 17-year-old kid, you know... 18, 19 in college when when there's alcohol involved sometimes, you don't want your kid to end up on the wrong side of the law with this kind of stuff either. And it's just stressful all the way around. The whole topic is stressful. Raising them is difficult. It's just not. I don't know.
I told my son already. I'm like, look, don't be famous when you grow up. Just, you know, fly under the radar, be successful, but don't become famous. Too much of a headache.
I think it's a headache regardless.
Oh no, definitely not.
You think it's more of a headache being famous than not being famous?
Wait, come again? It's more stressful, more of a headache
to be famous than
yes,
to not? No,
yes, I believe so.
I think you're
because
this is why I think you're wrong. The stresses are different, but they're stresses nonetheless.
Yes, the stress. Yes, they're different, but they're magnified even more, and not everybody adjusts to that life the same, right? It very well affects others.
It's the same thing with being rich, right? Like if all of a sudden you win, like if you or I won the lottery, it would be really difficult for a while.
Well, it wouldn't be difficult for me. I mean, I just have you handle all my money since you're the accountant in the family.
Yeah, I think it would be difficult, period.
I'd be like, bro, I need $1,000. I'm about to go buy me a pair of sneakers. Can you just wire it to me or something, you know? I let you handle everything.
Depending on how much you win, $1,000, you ain't going to ask me for no $1,000. You'd be like, whatever.
So, I went to a pool party this weekend. And
were you wearing a handkerchief or a bikini?
Oh man, I was wearing something even better.
A thong?
A Speedo. I had my water shoes on.
Do you even own a swimsuit?
No. I was that guy that showed up in some basketball shorts.
And a white t-shirt.
Fuck yeah. That was me.
Now, did you take the white t-shirt off?
Oh no, I jumped straight in.
You jumped into
T-shirt
the
and
pool
all.
with your t-shirt?
No, t-shirt. No t-shirt.
Oh, okay.
I do own a pair of swim trunks, by the way.
Really?
I do, yeah.
That you bought that day? Because you knew you were
Actually, I bought it a very long time ago, and I didn't think it would fit me. So I'm like, okay, I better try this on now, and it ended up fitting me. So I guess, I must have gotten it like 3 sizes bigger because I know.
Because you're 3 sizes bigger.
Yeah, exactly. From like 5 years ago.
Ah, that's too funny. So how was the pool party?
It was a great time. My only thing was
Kids pool party or
no,
adult?
it was adults. It was adults. It was
Did all the adults behave?
Yeah. Everybody got pretty slushed.
Okay.
We didn't leave till about 2 a.m. It was all of her coworkers.
Okay.
But everybody was coupled up, so it was kind of like a big orgy.
Kind of like a big old swingers party without the swinging.
No swinging, man.
It's a big couples party.
I mean,
that's very cute.
I don't know if my wife would allow that.
Yeah, well.
No. It was PG. It was good, man. It was a good time.
Good.
Barbecue, beer drinking. It was cool.
Like a good time.
And then, so I told my wife before going, I'm like, "You're gonna jump in, right?" And she's like, "Well, I don't know, this and that," and just giving me a few excuses. Right. And she's like, "Are you gonna jump?"
I got my contacts in.
Yeah, my hair. I just dyed my hair. All the coloring's gonna go off.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
I just did my toenails.
Peeing in the pool is frowned upon.
Man, I'll get to that in a minute. No, I'm just kidding. And so I'm like, and so then she asked me, "You're gonna get in?" And I'm like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, I'm gonna get in. Hell yeah."
Do the backstroke.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, breaststroke.
Backstroke.
Breaststroke.
Freestyle. You don't even know how to swim, do you?
Dude, I hate taking showers. Okay? I mean...
Are you a bath guy?
I'm a no water guy, period. I just said I don't like taking showers. That means I don't like the water at all. I like drinking water. No, I hate swimming. I hate the ocean.
Hate? That's a bit strong.
I dislike it very to the extreme.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm just checking.
And so I'm like, yeah, of course I'm gonna get in. So this was like 3 days, and so I'm like, a couple days passed, and so or the day of or the day before, I asked her, I'm like, so you're really not gonna get in? And she's like, I'm like, well, that kind of sucks. I'm like,
what kind of answer is that?
Yeah. So I'm like, your friends are gonna be. I'm like, whatever. So now I'm thinking, well, if she's not gonna get in, I don't feel like getting in either. I mean, I'm kind of stuck in between, and so I'm like, all right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my clothes in a bag, my swimming clothes, and that's how And if I decide to get in, I'll just go change, and then I'm like, I show up there. Everybody's in swimming attire,
right?
And so my wife does wear a bathing suit after all, but she's got it covered on this
Right, she's got
like a
3-piece suit.
Yeah, but it's like it's not a sweater, but it's like a cut off.
It's like an oversized
or something.
Like a bathrobe.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know what the fuck it is. Whatever.
I don't know what it's called.
Some girl shit. Anyway, and so I get there and I'm like, damn, I'm like the only one that showed up in. Although I know I have my swim clothes, I showed up in
jeans and a t-shirt.
Yeah, I showed up in my polo shorts, jean shorts, jorts, and like a polo shirt, and I'm like, well, I fucking feel out of place now. So I'm like, so memo to myself is never go by what she's doing or not. If it's a pool party, you show up ready to go, regardless if you go in or not.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, because I felt like a doofus, man. Because one of the guys tells me, you know, I was like, he asked me, oh, you didn't bring your swim trunks? I'm like, nah. And by the time I tried, giving him an answer, he tells me, well, maybe next time. I'm like, what the fuck?
No, man, I'm prepared. I just gotta go change. Like fucking Superman here. Let me go get in that. Let me go get in that phone booth. I'll come out like freaking Michael Phelps.
But I'll tell you what, adult swim parties, pool parties, at a nice. I mean, oh man,
thumbs up.
Yeah, thumbs up, man. It's good. It's a good time, relaxation. What?
I'm just trying to picture you at a pool party.
Oh, what do you mean? You don't think? Wait,
I can't picture you.
Am I not cool enough for a pool party?
No, you're not. I can't picture you in the pool.
Well, I stay at the 3 feet part of the pool. It went all the way to 11, and so I didn't
11?
know. Yeah, I didn't know, and oh boy, did I knew once I hit like 6 feet, my feet were like dangling in the air, bro, and I'm like, oh shit! I reached for the edge of the pool so fast.
This drops off quick.
Yeah, no, I'm glad I got strong arms because I was able to, pull myself back into. Yeah, 11. I never.
Anybody get pushed in the pool?
Nobody got pushed.
Did your wife go in the pool?
No, she did.
Oh, okay.
She did.
She didn't worry about.
Nobody threw up or anything in the pool.
Did anybody make bubbles in the pool?
I'm pretty sure I did.
Right about the point when you realized
I'm pretty sure
it got deeper than 6 feet.
Well, no, the part where I had to let one loose. I had a fart. I couldn't hold it in, bro. I just went.
Dude, when you fart in a pool, does it stink?
No, it doesn't. Exactly. That helps out. But I mean, if you have somebody behind you and they're looking at and
they see the bubble
and you let one off that has some some oomph. I mean, it's gonna be like fucking you're blowing a bubble gum out your ass. You never been to a pool party?
Not an adult pool party.
No?
No, I've been to, kids' pool parties.
You're such a kid. You want to tag along to your son's baseball game.
I sure do.
You go to little kids.
Kids' pool parties and the adults get it. I did, years ago, I went to a kid's birthday party. It was a kid's birthday. A kid was turning 8 or some shit.
Okay.
But on the invitation, it said that they were going to have one of those bouncy houses with water and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And that the kids' party was from 3 to 6, and then it was going to be an adult bouncy house pool party from 6 to question mark. That was a good time.
So, did you go? Was it just? I'm assuming your son. You took your son to the party.
No, this is before my son was born. This was my girls.
Okay.
And so the girls went.
So did your wife go?
Yes, she did. She did not get in the bouncy house. I did. Not the bouncy house. It's not a bouncy house.
It's like a slide.
One of the slides
with the water. Okay.
Yeah.
I think you had them one time here.
Yeah, I had them one time here.
Those are fun.
So yeah, those are fun.
Especially when you're just slushed.
Yeah, and so eventually, my wife came home with the kids, and I stayed and partied some more, and then came home.
That qualifies as a pool party.
Kind of, sort of. Yeah, kind of, sort of. It had water involved.
A slide party.
A
moonwalk party.
It was a lot of fun though.
A bouncy house.
Oh, another time we went to a kids party, and they had one of those bouncy houses, dry.
Okay.
And we're really good friends with the parents. And by this point, my oldest daughter was old enough to drive, and so it was my son's friend.
Okay.
And so we got to hanging out and stuff. The party died down around 8:00, and they still had that bouncy house going. The kids were fizzling out, and the host decided the adults were going to play in there.
Nice.
But the opening wasn't very big. So he brought out a bunch of baby oil. And people were diving into this bouncy house. slide on the baby oil into the bouncy house.
That sounds like fun.
And they were freaking hammered. I did not get in because I didn't want to roll around in baby oil.
Party pooper.
You know, I mean, you get these abs and this chest all oiled up. I mean, people are gonna lose their mind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you're so hairy that it just soak up all the oil.
Even more so. Even more so, bro. They'd be like, whoa.
Yeah, I waited till nighttime to get into the pool. I didn't want to. I mean, I was like, number one, I'm so freaking white.
I was gonna say, if you got in at night, then you were the light, so everyone else could see.
I was the light.
Hey man, this is episode 80.
80,
right?
Holy shit!
Of the Positive Sports Podcast. I guess we've talked swimming.
That's a sport.
That's a sport.
I mean, if you ask Mike Phelps, you better not tell him it's not a sport. The man has like 10,000 gold medals.
You know who else was swimming this past weekend? The women from Cameroon at the Women's World Cup. Did you see this?
I might have caught a little bit of it.
So they had some calls go against them. Mm-hmm. Now, mind you, at the end of the day, the calls were right.
Okay.
Right. All there were 3 calls in particular. They were all right. They all involved a goal. In 2 cases, it was a goal for England. In 1 case, they overturned a goal for Cameroon.
Was the VAR involved in any way?
Don't get me started. The VAR was involved in 2 of those 3 calls.
Oh my God.
Which is just terrible. Some of those Cameroon women. Now, I understand it's the World Cup. It's their first time at the World Cup. It's a big deal. I mean, bawling, crying a river. They were just... One of them was inconsolable. Looked like she wasn't going to play. The coach actually came out and hugged her to try to get her to calm down. But she was... There were some that they were crying. And I'm not talking about like... Just like they just made a face like they were going to cry. I'm talking about full-blown tears streaming down their face.
Result of the calls that they were upset about?
They felt like they got screwed on all 3 of them. And, you know, if they go back and they look at it, and if they go back and they, you know, don't look at the uniforms and don't look at the teams, they look at it objectively, they'll see that all 3 calls are right. It's unfortunate. I really hate the way the media has painted them as like these poor sports. I mean, they were just upset.
Well, you know, the media is just so unfair sometimes, you know?
I agree.
And I know we've talked about instant replay before in the VAR. I think sports just needs to get rid of the instant replay. I think it would be so, you know, we spend so much... We're still talking about the Saints to this day.
Yeah.
Seriously, it's still being taught. They just figured out the rule or reworded it and you know, just made it more clear if it could possibly be any clearer, because I don't think it really can be. But we're still talking about that.
Yeah,
6 months later.
6 months later, yeah.
And so while it's good for a podcast such as this one to talk about, or, you know, radio shows or whatever, or you know, TV shows, it's really, you know, as a fan, as myself, I don't care about it anymore. Yeah, like it doesn't matter. Well, even if it happened to one of my favorite teams, I don't care, because there's there's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing the league can do about it. It's just wasting time, in my opinion.
Part of the problem is, and this is what happens when you have 5 different ESPN channels and 3 different Fox channels and 2 different NBC Sports channels, and you know, we've got too many people talking, and I mean, we're kind of guilty of it as well, right? But they have to create content, and the media is completely unfair with a lot of this stuff because it's clickbait. That's all it is. It's clickbait.
Yeah.
And you know, the comments about these women I thought were completely irrational. And quite frankly, the comments come from a place of bias, because I'll say this about both. I think there were 2 African teams at the Women's World Cup, Cameroon and Nigeria. If there's a third one, I apologize. Those women play the game at a higher level of, not intensity, but gamesmanship and dirtiness.
Mm-hmm.
They play the game more like men than the rest of the world. And we don't like it. We don't like it. Because I promise you, if it was a European team, if it was Norway, if it was the US, if it was England, if it was France, if it was some other team like that was crying about a call, we wouldn't be as critical as we were. And I say we, I shouldn't say we because I have not been critical. The media would not have been as critical of England if those 3 calls had gone against England and they were upset like that. But those African teams are viewed as a bit dirty because they play the game the way the men do. Mm-hmm. And the men, they roll around on the ground. They're a little bit dirty. They will commit what's called the professional foul. They will do that shit that, most women's teams won't do because they just don't play the game that way. And the media, certainly the media in this country, doesn't like it. And so we find ways to be extremely critical of them in a moment where, look, if 3 calls had gone against the U.S. like that, and the U.S. was down 2-0 against a tough team where it looked difficult for them to come back, there'd be some tears shed. There'd be some women on that U.S. team that were pissed and stomping on the ground and stuff like that. So, I find it kind of offensive that.
I wonder what the ratings are for the Women's World Cup.
I think they're pretty good.
You think so?
Yeah. Well, because the U.S. is good.
Or because the U.S. is in it? Because the U.S. is in it, I think.
I don't think it's just because the U.S. is in it. I think it's because the U.S. is good. I think that...
But for the men, it's like that too, I think. It's because they're in it. If they're not in it, I don't think the majority of the U.S. is really invested.
But men's soccer draws a lot more people to it. We have...
Maybe.
We have a lot of people that come from other countries where soccer's a big deal. South America and Europe.
Right.
And they will watch any soccer when it's the World Cup because it's the World Cup. Regardless of whether the U.S. men are good or not. With the women, you lose some of those European and South American fans, but you gain a lot of American fans. And those American fans are watching because the U.S. women are good.
Man, I have a hard time believing that. I mean, I just don't believe soccer is that popular here in the U.S. It is in certain places. I believe here in Texas it is.
In the South, yeah.
Maybe California, right?
Yes.
Maybe part of the East Coast. But even then, I don't think... Like, if I had to rank, South, West, East is probably the lowest.
Of those 3,
and that's a big market, right, for sports.
I would agree with
that. I just have a hard time believing that the people of the U.S. is invested in it because they're good. They just invested in it because the U.S. is in it. When they're not in it, I don't think that a lot of people are watching.
I
don't think soccer will ever be that popular here.
No, it won't because we'll never be a world power on the men's side. And in order for a sport to really take off, you have to be a power on the men's side.
No.
It's the same reason why hockey is not as popular as the other sports. Plus hockey is a cost prohibitive sport to an extent.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. Interesting.
Baseball is kind of a little bit of a cost prohibitive sport, and we're starting to see that the major leagues are becoming more and more Latin kids, Asian kids, right?
Speaking of Asian, Ohtani's having a pretty fine season, isn't he?
It's a shame he's not pitching, else he'd be MVP already.
He's not going to pitch this season, right?
Right.
He's not?
He's not going to pitch.
Okay, so maybe you have to wait till next season.
But next season, when he pitches and hits all season.
I was watching him last night and I thought about you. I'm like, I wonder if Ed's watching.
Yeah, I do try to catch Ohtani whenever I can.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, his teammate...
Mike Trout?
His other teammate, Albert Pujols. He played a home series this weekend in St. Louis.
Oh, yeah, he was at home, all right.
My God. Have you ever seen someone come back and get that kind of reception? I mean, he got curtain calls and standing ovations.
Bryce Harper, when he went back to the Nationals.
Has he already been back to D.C.?
I believe he has.
God, I didn't hear anything about it.
I think he has.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
It would be really strange that he hasn't made it to D.C. at this point in the season, but I guess it's possible. I don't recall.
No, he might not have. But yeah, no, Albert Pujols got he definitely got a home welcome.
I mean, that guy got more love.
Are you okay with that? Okay with that. Like, or if you were, attending.
If I was a St. Louis fan?
Yeah, if you were attending all St. Louis Cardinals, if you were attending all 3 games or whatever, I mean, the first night, what do you do?
I would have given him polite applause, but I wouldn't have given him a curtain call for hitting a home run against my team.
Yeah.
And look,
they have, by the way, the Nationals have played at home versus the Phillies.
Really?
Early in the season.
God, we didn't hear anything about it.
It was actually the second series of the year.
I don't remember hearing a word about it.
It was a 2-game set, that's why.
Still, you would have thought you'd have heard something.
Yeah.
I think that people are going to talk about, there are fan bases, especially in baseball, that have a reputation that I don't know that it's completely earned. And then things happen that just add to it, right? So St. Louis has this fan base that everyone talks about. What a great fan base. I don't think it's all that great. It's no greater than anyone else's, in my opinion. They're a good fan base. They are a good fan base. But I've been to Astros games against the Cardinals. There ain't that many Cardinals fans packing Minute Maid Park when they come to town.
Right.
But I have been here when the Yankees come to town, and it's a Yankee game. I've been to an Astros game when the Mets are in town, and it's a Mets home crowd, basically.
Yeah.
So don't tell me St. Louis fans are so great. And this thing right here, they're going to be like, oh, look at how great St. Louis fans are. Really? Look, Albert Pujols, A, is a good guy. So they're cheering a good guy. Okay. Who doesn't cheer a good guy? Well, some fan bases don't. I get it. But you got most of the juice out of the guy.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake, he gave you 2 World Series. He hit 500 home runs with you. And then he left for the money. I mean, honestly, he did you a favor.
Yeah, well, maybe that's why they're cheering.
The Angels did you a favor, right? Because they offered him more money and he left for the money. Okay? I mean, and it was clear even at that time that he was past his prime. He wasn't way past his prime. It's not like he was a lame duck. Mm-hmm. But you knew he was starting to decline. And they let him go. And the other thing is, it's been 5 years or however long it's been. So they've had time.
It's been 8.
It's been 8 years. They've had time to process the loss of the great Albert Pujols. Not to mention that they've seen that for 8 years. In 8 years, he's hit 200 home runs compared to the 500 he hit with them. And he hit 500 home runs in like 2 seasons for them.
So if I'm a fan, I cheer the first at bat, the first walk up, but that's it. After that, you're getting booed. But
I wouldn't boo him, but
it depends who it was. Depends what team they went to. Like if freaking Pete Alonso went to the Phillies, you're getting booed. I mean, I don't care. Well, I don't care who goes there, but you get. So it all depends, case by case. But I think Pujols deserves all the love he's getting. Because
I'm not saying he doesn't. He's a good guy, but I just don't tell me that St. Louis fans are these great fans because they cheered Albert Pujols. Because look, you got most of the juice out of Pujols. He left on the other side of his career, and it's been 8 years.
Well, exactly. That's why they're cheering him on, because they may never see him in that stadium ever again.
They will when they retire his number 5 years from now.
Right. Well, unless he doesn't retire this year.
Is he going to retire this year?
I don't know, man. I mean,
doesn't he have like almost 700 home runs?
He's got like 6. I don't know how many he has. 630. You're gonna check it?
Yeah.
I don't know, 630 maybe. I'm surprised I'm surprised Pujols didn't try to convince Trout to play in St. Louis, right? I mean, you would think he would try to.
8 years ago, Trout was 18.
Right, but he signed a new contract with the Angels.
Now,
right?
Why would he encourage him to go back to go to St. Louis?
I mean, why not? It's a better sports town than the Angels. It's a better fan base than the Angels.
Well, then why not encourage him to go play for the Cubs? That's the best fan base ever.
Well, he can't vouch for the Cubs. He can only vouch for the Cardinals, right?
But everyone knows the Cubs are the best fan base ever.
They're all great.
No, because we routinely talk about how awful the Philly fans are.
Which they are.
Yeah, look, they're Philly fans, I think, they suck, but they don't suck as bad as the media makes it out.
I think
some of that gets overblown.
Yeah,
they cheered for the guy with a broken neck. They threw batteries at Santa Claus. Okay, but both of those things were
Drew, actually.
But both of those things were quite a bit ago.
Yeah,
right. Like it didn't happen in the last couple of seasons.
Well, I mean, it's a reputation that they've built, and a reputation can last a lifetime.
Look, personally, I think the Warriors fan base is terrible because that guy pushed Kyle Lowry when he went into the stands. That fan base sucks.
Actually, I think the Warriors fan base is spoiled.
Well,
they've been spoiled.
Well, you know what fan base is spoiled?
The Yankees.
Yeah.
They're spoiled.
No, but I'm talking about the city overall.
The city? A sports city?
An entire city.
A sports city.
An entire city, no matter what sport.
Boston.
Yeah.
Yes. What is it, like fucking 13 out of 15 years or what?
I don't know, but they've won quite a few championships in the last...
That makes the Giants' 2 Super Bowls against them that much greater. And actually, I hate to say it, it kind of, you can throw the Eagles in there too. That makes their Super Bowl fucking way a ton.
I mean, think about it. The Patriots were favored in all 3 of those.
All 3.
Well, the second Giants one I think was pretty close.
No, but they were favored.
Were they still favored?
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty close. I thought maybe even the Giants were favored.
No, they were favored.
3. I mean, the Patriots could have 9 Super Bowls.
God, I'm. Now that I think about it, I don't know if I'm more happy that we beat them twice or that we have to share that with the Eagles.
Who cares, man? Who cares? So, how many home runs does Pujols have?
I'm going to say 642.
Holy shit, that's pretty good. 646.
646?
Yeah. And that includes 2019.
That's amazing, man.
646.
How? Okay.
And he's got 200 with the Angels. So he hit 446 home runs with the Cardinals. Yeah, it's easy to cheer Albert Pujols now because you gave him away when he was on the downside of his career.
I mean, I don't see nothing wrong in them cheering.
I don't see anything wrong with cheering a little bit, but I think they went overboard. That's just my opinion.
All 3 games?
Well, I mean, curtain calls and standing ovations, like, bro, relax. First of all, he's still playing, and he happens to be playing against your team. Second of all, relax. I mean, just relax. It's not like he's going off to... It's not like we're going to, It's not like we're going to pull the plug on him and he's going to die. Jesus. It's too much.
Would you be more shocked or disappointed if he came out and said he was on steroids?
I would be more disappointed. I would not be shocked.
You wouldn't be shocked?
No.
I would be shocked.
Why?
I would be shocked.
There were rumors about him being on roids back when he was with St.
Yeah, but
Louis.
he wasn't on the report or anything.
No, he wasn't, but people were starting to, he shaved his head and
right.
He's got that big old melon.
Yeah.
People started to say some stuff. There were some whispers. Nothing concrete by any stretch, but I guess my point is it just doesn't, it would... I don't know.
I would be shocked because
if Mother Teresa used steroids, I don't think I would be shocked. Mother Teresa's dead. My bad. If Pope Francis,
Sister Anne,
If
Sister, the sister from the Chicago.
from Loyola.
Loyola.
Yeah, if she was on roids, I'd be like,
You know what? She's on fucking roids because to be throwing from 60 feet 6 inches, throwing strikes like that. I don't care what
she
you're
had to
wearing.
be juiced.
She's juiced.
Yeah, they didn't give her a baseball. They gave her something lighter, like one of those foam squishy balls that's painted like a baseball.
I need the VAR to inspect that.
Check the spin rate on that.
Check the spin rate. Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't. No one would shock
No.
me to be on steroids at this point.
Yeah.
So did you hear about the Mets dust up with the reporter?
Yes, unfortunately I did.
So here's my theory on this.
Okay.
So just to recap, in the post-game press conference yesterday, day before yesterday,
Sunday.
a guy from several media members were going on and on about a decision to use a certain reliever or not take a reliever out. They were kind of grilling Mickey Callaway with the same question, worded a little bit differently about the relievers. And everyone knows the Mets bullpen situation has been a barn fire, as you said, which I think you meant dumpster fire. But anyway. And so finally, Mickey Callaway was done with the press conference. He walked off. He called him a motherfucker. And the guy called him Titty Callaway. And, then Jason Vargas wanted to fight. And then they threw the Newsday guy out. And look.
If anybody should be called Titty, it should be Vargas. Have you seen him with his shirt off?
Yes.
He's got titties.
Right. I don't exactly understand how the Titty Callaway comment comes
Mickey
about.
Titty, maybe it rhymes. Is the only thing. This is what I got out of it.
I don't know. It doesn't sound like a good snap to me, as we used to call it.
Maybe he was
day.
caught,
I don't know.
doing something he wasn't.
Anyway, here's my overall take on that. Anytime a manager starts fighting with the media, he's about to get fired. He's about to get fired. He knows he's about to get fired, and he does not give a fuck about getting fired.
Right.
In fact, I would almost dare to say he wants to get fired.
Well, it's been a whole damn day, and Mickey's not fired.
Yeah, I think they got fined
because they fired they got fined. And I don't know what the fuck the Mets are doing. They did fire somebody. Just it wasn't
the pitching
Mickey.
coach a couple week ago, right?
Last week, yeah. Which I don't understand.
Am I right that pitching coach was it 138 years old or something like that? He was old.
Well, the one they picked up is 188 years old. He's older. Have you seen him?
No.
Okay, I can't remember his name anymore.
He's so old.
Yeah. I mean, you need to see this guy. He looks like he's
warmed over.
Last leg. I don't know what the Mets are doing, man. It's really a shame because they're wasting a good season from Pete Alonso, and that's really been the only highlight of the Mets season.
He has been. I mean, he's putting up. I won't say MVP numbers because,
the Mets are so bad he can't even be MVP.
Yeah, well, Yelich.
You can't put him in MVP talk.
He's still not quite to the level of Yelich. I mean, he's got the home runs, but his batting average is not great. I mean, he's not quite there. Right. Certainly Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
Certainly looks like a guy you'd want to see in the home run derby.
I'm glad he's not, but go ahead.
Yeah, but I mean, he's that kind of guy. He's a guy that maybe he's an all-star, maybe he's not. I don't know exactly. First base, maybe, right? Like, who else would be the...
Well, you got Muncy.
Yeah.
You have Goldschmidt.
Goldschmidt's not... Goldschmidt's numbers, I don't
Freddie
know.
Freeman.
Right. So, he's not quite an all-star.
But he's on the cusp.
He's close. But you still want to see him All-Star Weekend, right? So you'd want to see him in the festivities somehow, and the Home Run Derby seems like a natural fit. So, yeah, he is by far the brightest shining light that the Mets have.
But it sucks. Again, it's going to get overshadowed by,
a shitty
what happened yesterday, right, between Callaway and just the type of season that the Mets are having.
The Mets are a...
dumpster and a bonfire.
Yeah, bonfire, barn. barn. What's a barn fire? House fire? 3-alarm fire.
5-alarm fire.
Is it?
I'll raise you 2 alarms.
Like, no, seriously, what's the maximum number of alarms for a fire?
I thought it was 5.
I said 3.
I have no idea. You might be right. I could be the idiot.
I don't know. I don't know.
Is 5-alarm blaze? Because I thought it's 5-alarm blaze. No?
No, I think there's a 5-alarm chili.
Is that on the menu at Chili's?
No, like chili, like it's supposed to be really spicy. I think it's 5-alarm.
It did. So look, when you search up 5-alarm, you get 5-alarm burger, 5-alarm fire, and 5-alarm chili.
What's a 5-alarm burger?
Let's find out. We're about to plug some. Oh, hold on. This is like some. Oh, look at this.
This better not be something.
No. Look, Houston's own.
Oh, it's a Houston.
Little bitty burger barn, located at 5503 Pinemont Drive in Houston.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go, bro.
We may have to go.
Let's do it.
Charlie's 5-alarm fire burger challenge. Finish a 1/4-pound burger with lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and a secret sauce. I don't want to find out what that secret sauce contains. Topped with grilled jalapenos, because that's how we say it, grilled habanero, pepper jack cheese, and nitro sauce. Advertised as 10 million Scoville units.
Okay.
This is some hot shit right here.
How long do I have to eat it?
And served on a jalapeno and cheddar infused bun.
How long do I have to eat it?
You must finish your entire burger within 5 minutes. If you finish, you will get a t-shirt, your picture posted on a 5-alarm wall, and social media.
Do I have to pay for the burger?
Of course you do.
So that...
Wow. Liquids may be used, and you can wipe and use sauces or other food during the challenge.
Oh, I can do that.
So that, I mean, that's
easy.
That's not even...
That's easy.
That shouldn't be allowed.
Look,
you've been through worse.
Yeah, I could do that. I can do that.
We may have to visit this place.
Yeah, I can do that, and I'll tell you why I can do it. I can do it because you don't know how key it is to be able to wipe. Because that sauce just sitting on your lips.
Your nose or the sauce on your...
The sauce on your face. It's going into your pores. It hurts your face.
Don't be a sissy.
I'm not. I'm saying I can do it.
I think you can.
I'm willing to give it a try.
That'd be pretty cool. Yeah. I want us to let us record your, the 5 minutes.
Let's get on that.
I'm serious.
Yeah, let's get on that. Seriously, bro. Let's get on that.
I mean, we just finished plugging them. They should allow it.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's get on that. We will have an update. If you guys want to see us do... Well, you won't do it. If you want to see me do the Little Bitty Barn Burger Challenge, 5-alarm burger challenge right here in Houston, Texas, you go ahead and email the show at positivesports10@gmail.com. Positivesports10@gmail.com. If you would like to send your condolences to me, should I try such a stupid idea, which I think I will do, you can reach me on Twitter at eMontana21. If you want to encourage Alex to join me on this 5-alarm journey, you can reach him at
Twitter, Brooklyn Gaucho 1. Don't encourage me, damn it. I suck at peer pressure.
How many Twitter encouragements will you need to do it?
Oh man.
Will you do it if we get 100? If 100 people encourage you to do it?
100, I'll do it.
Okay. I'm getting on Twitter right after the show.
100, I'll do it. I'm bad at peer pressure, man. I succumb to peer pressure. No, 100. It's a more round number, 50 is a
10?
round number, but 100 has 2 zeros. 1,000.
0, 1, 0. All right,
100,
so
100.
You heard it here, folks. 100 people to reach out to Alex on Twitter at Brooklyn Gaucho 1 to do the 5-alarm burger challenge at Little Bitty Burger Barn here in Houston, Texas. And he will do it. I'll do it with no encouragement. I don't give a shit. I'm crazy. I'll do stuff like that. With that, we've come to the end of episode 80 of the Positive Sports Podcast. Episode 80, famous number 80s. This should be easy.
I don't want to pick an obvious one. I want to pick, everybody knows.
You gotta pick one.
I'm trying to go with I'm trying to go with this cricket player that I knew. Greatest number 80. I'm gonna let you go first. Go ahead, you go.
Well, I'm gonna take the easy out. I'm gonna go with the greatest wide receiver.
Okay.
Or maybe the second greatest wide receiver. I mean, numerically, he's the greatest, but I mean, Randy Moss to me is the greatest, just physically. Numbers wise,
but he's not number 80.
He's not number 80, but numbers wise, the greatest wide receiver ever, Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice. I'm gonna go with something a little different.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna go with the number 1980. Big shout out to the Philadelphia Phillies and Steve Carlton. I was looking up his stats the other day. Steve Carlton has some fucking amazing stats.
Yeah.
His whole career, but that year in 1980, he had some really crazy stats. And man, shout out to the Philadelphia Phillies, 1980 World Series champions. Cousin Jay, that's just for you. That one's for you.
Yeah, let's see. What other 80s can we think of? Because there's quite a few. Isn't the greatest tight end, or one of the greatest tight ends ever, on number 80, Tony Gonzalez?
He's 88.
Okay, we'll save him for
we'll
save him for a month from now.
I blanked out on football. I know there's other 80s. I can't think of another 80.
Was Chris Carter 80?
Fuck, I don't know. I don't pay attention to jersey numbers.
Okay, so we only got one. There's so many.
All right, got one. We got to Google Chris Carter real quick. I have a feeling he was like 81.
No.
He'll be for the next one. No, you don't think so?
Mm-mm. Oh, I've got 81.
Oh, it better not be who I think.
It is 80.
It is 80? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
That's a shame.
That we don't know.
Chris Carter's really good, and yet
you didn't know.
We weren't sure, but I knew Jerry Rice right off the top of my head.
Okay, next week, if you pick this 81, I'm going to give you so much shit. I'm going to give you a lot of shit.
It's a hockey player.
Okay. Good.
Alrighty, folks. That's it for us. Thank you very much for listening, watching, subscribing, commenting, whatever it is that y'all do to interact with us on our show. We appreciate it greatly. And as always, ignore the negativity. Be the positivity.
Peace.